Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, has been taking a knee this season before the start of games during the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. Now, one could say that this is arguably one of the top stories of 2016 because of the large response that it has created. A lot of people have been feeling hurt, offended, others feeling the other way.
He got a lot of support.
Yeah.
It's like football programs at every level, from Pee-wee to high school to college, kind of joined him.
Soccer players as well.
Other sports.
Yeah.
Joined him in his kneeling protest. So, I mean, he's gotten it from both directions.
Yeah. And he made his motivations very clear, because when he did it, the media was there to ask him why he's doing it. And it was clear that it was because of injustice that's going on today, currently, in the United States of America.
You mean to tell me that he didn't say he hates the military, the troops, or he hates America? He didn't say that? That wasn't one of the reasons he gave for his protest?
Out. Yeah, he left that out. Yeah, okay. He never said anything about the military, foreign policy, veterans. He never said anything about that. Okay. It was specifically about injustice. But people have been joining the two together, that he's obviously anti-America, obviously anti-veterans and all of that.
Anti-troops.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
But we have to realize that this has been in the news for months now.
Well, season started in August, right?
Yeah, it's been
so. It's
months.
Been about 4 months.
Yeah, and it of course reached a high point, but recently, not so much. You don't really hear too much about it anymore.
It's been 4 months, so it's the coverage of it has tapered off a bit, primarily because of the news cycle, the new stories and more important issues take precedent. So
the election just took place. So of course, like I said, it's fading away. Really, it's still there, but it's fading away from being right at the forefront of the media focus.
I haven't heard anything about it.
No, but now it's creating a whole new kind of media buzz again, and that's because of Pearl Harbor. There was an event to commemorate 75 years after the bombing on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese. And the head of the U.S. Pacific Command, a guy named Harry Harris, he decided to take an opportunity to speak out really against Colin Kaepernick at that event. So his words, he said, "You can bet that the men and women we honor today and those who died that fateful morning 75 years ago never took a knee and never failed to stand whenever they heard our national anthem being played." So, obviously, I don't agree with his assessment, obviously, but that's his own personal thoughts. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
He wants to feel hurt. He wants to feel offended.
Yeah, he's been holding on to that for quite some time.
Of course he has.
You know what I'm saying?
To bring it up like
during a commemoration of Pearl Harbor.
Why? But whatever. He wants to feel offended. Fine. But the real story comes into play when the Department of Defense decides to tweet video of his words along with it says PACOM commander, Pearl Harbor vets never took a knee, never failed to stand during national anthem. So this came from the official Twitter account
from the U.S. Department of Defense. Right.
The official account of the Department of Defense. See, that's a problem.
And did they ever give the name out of the person?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
And that's against
they played the video of him, but then since then they deleted it. They deleted the post, deleted the video. Why? They said because of it suggested that the tweet had been perceived by some as an official DoD endorsement of a position on a political or social issue. Based on that, we made the decision to take it down. Perceived.
Yeah.
Perceived as the official position.
I would think so, since it was put out by the official Twitter of the U.S. Department of Defense. Why wouldn't people perceive that as an official position?
Exactly. Exactly. If LTMB puts out something on Twitter as us, that means that those are our words. That means that's exactly how we feel about an issue. Doesn't mean that's how Mike White feels. Doesn't mean it means how Will Gaylord specifically feels. No, it means that together, this is our official position.
Yeah, you're not gonna see one of us just like log on to Facebook and go to LTMB page and hit upload something, and I just post something like, like something like really offensive. Like,
exactly.
Like all y'all grandmas is bitches. You know what I'm saying? And if that posts under LTMB,
right,
you're not going to distinguish between I or Will.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be, damn, LTMB is really like that?
Yeah.
Damn, yo. So, of course, you could see the problem when the official Twitter handle of the U.S. Department of Defense posts something
and
like
they
this.
admitted that it's against protocol.
Yes, it is. Because, well, his words can't act as the whole of that government agency.
And again, they didn't name the person, and for reasons I would understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because this person, I guess, used the Department of Defense,
mm-hmm.
a official apparatus of the government, as a conduit to export their personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. And like you say, he waited for this opportunity.
And honestly, that's kind of irresponsible. No, it's not kind of irresponsible. Mm-hmm. It is irresponsible. And to me, it's cowardice, actually, because whoever did it under the name of the U.S. Department of Defense did it because it would probably, give it more credibility. Mm-hmm. They probably had a personal Twitter account. They could have said that there, but they didn't.
They could have, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, and you said it's cowardice, right? I'm going to use another adjective. I think this shit is dangerous. Because, like I said, this has been an explosive issue. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are furious, offended, personally, that Colin Kaepernick would kneel, he would dare to kneel when the Star Spangled Banner is being played, right? So, to me, it looks like the Department of Defense officially put a target on Colin Kaepernick.
That's another reason why it was dangerous. That is a good reason. And it's one of the things that this person probably wasn't thinking about is the fact that Twitter is global. Mm-hmm. Wasn't thinking about that. Mm-hmm. So how does that look to other countries? Right. Who, I might add, was standing up for Colin Kaepernick too.
Right.
So how does that look?
Colin Kaepernick is a free American doing exactly what he is afforded to do by his own constitutional rights. And a U.S. government agency blasted him as the official U.S. government agency. He's doing exactly what he can do as an American. And they put a target on him.
I mean, and the irony of, that kind of moral grandstanding, and it was moral grandstanding by Harry Harris, too, when he was making his speech.
No doubt. And whoever
uploaded that post to the Twitter account. Mm-hmm. The irony is they're supposed to be the one protecting Colin Kaepernick's right to do what he did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're sitting here on this like moral high ground, mm-hmm. as if they know who the real patriots are and they're the real patriots. Yes. It's like it's like they're here to protect democracy as long as they agree with it.
As long as you're exhibiting the same type of feelings as them and mm-hmm. feel that democracy is in this box that we feel it is. Mm-hmm. You can't criticize America. You can't call into question the injustice that's going on. I like to keep highlighting what the Star Spangled Banner actually mm-hmm. was, written by Francis Scott Key. It was not this inclusive song of unity, of something that we all should feel proud about. No, its meaning has gotten completely shifted, completely remade. It was a song that was pretty much celebrating the death of slaves that wanted their freedom. That's what it was about. So it wasn't for equality and justice for all. No, it wasn't about that at all. America pretty much just chooses to forget some of the lyrics of that song. And again, like I said, remake it. reform it into something that it was not, which I think is ridiculous. So when, assessing what this song actually means, or what hearing the song, I think it's ridiculous to not hear what it actually meant.
I think it's more ridiculous to make a connection that he hates the military or he hates the troops because he's kneeling for the song. I think that's ridiculous too. Like, why are people making that connection? Now, if Colin Kaepernick would have said something like, how dare these, the troops, fight for a country where these injustices are going on. That means he's directly going after the troops.
Right. But he never said
so
that.
I think people would have rightfully so had had grounds to say, hold up, Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hold up, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? He would have put himself out there. But he didn't do that. They're trying to make this short connection to him, standing up or kneeling for an injustice for this song, and then they make this take the short path to say, well, he's disrespecting the troops.
Right.
I don't see how they're making that connection. I mean, it's been made for them. It's been made for them. I mean, you can make any connection. You can make any connection. I mean, he protested the anthem, and that's America's anthem. Troops fight for America. Troops have kids. Kids like Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts is made by Kellogg's. Colin Kaepernick hates Kellogg's.
Yeah, he's anti-Kellogg's.
Anti-Kellogg's.
It's ridiculous. It's the most laughable connection to draw. One does not have to do with the other. And you know what? Another thing I want to point out, there's an article on the Intercept about this topic, about how this guy, Harry Harris, spoke these words at the event and what the Department of Defense did. Towards the bottom of the article, they mentioned that probably the last surviving African-American sailor from Pearl Harbor, these were his words about his service during that time. He said, "We couldn't be a gunner's mate, couldn't be a machinist's mate, couldn't be a bosun's mate. We was restricted to one branch, and that was the officers. We cooked for them, laid out their clothes, and shined their shoes, and give them their coffee and food and anything that they needed for their comfort. That's what we do." So that, again, does that sound like equality and justice for all?
That's actually pointing to an injustice.
Yeah, it is. And we still have to kind of recognize that Colin Kaepernick wasn't even talking about that period of time.
And specifically, again, the comments were out of place, not because it had nothing to do with the troops, but specifically, why Pearl Harbor? Why?
This guy, Harry Harris, is talking about, he knows that these sailors wouldn't have taken a knee. Really? How do you know that? How do you know that? When their life was this, that they pretty much were servants. Their lives were as a servant. They couldn't be next to a white man doing the same job. They couldn't do that in the United States of America. How do you know that black man wouldn't have took a knee? How you know that?
A lot of blacks that fought when they came back to America, they were upset that they didn't have the same rights and they didn't have the same chances. And they were very vocal about that. Mm-hmm. So what would Harry Harris call them? And it was right around that same time.
Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to know too, did they know where the song originated from?
Probably not. Probably not. And so pretty much people are all up in arms because they're emotionally attached to a song that they know nothing about.